Jesus Christ, you're my everything. You are so beautiful, beautiful. Jesus Christ, you're my everything. Yes. Almighty God, an everlasting King, you're more than anything I have ever seen. You are so beautiful, so beautiful. Jesus Christ, you are my everything.
Welcome to Dining with Jesus Christian TV. My name is Argelia Curran, and today I will be hosting Love People portion. Bienvenidos a Cenando con Jesús. Mi nombre es Argelia Curran y el día de hoy voy a estar conduciendo la porción de Ama a tu prójimo. Are you struggling with addictions? You cannot see your way out? Are you looking for support? Do you need to talk to someone about it? Please stay here with us. Today we have Foundations with Recovery and Drug Retreat. We want to say welcome to
Susan Seesmack
and
Matthew Porter-Strauss.
Okay, Foundations with Recovery and Drug Retreat. And Susan, you are the executive director, right?
No, actually. So Drug Retreat and Foundations for Recovery have merged into one organization, and Chad McComas is our executive director.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and I just coordinate the recovery services.
I see, I see. And Matt, you are?
I am the development director for Drug Retreat, so I coordinate the grant writing, fundraising, and marketing efforts for the organization.
Wow, that's awesome. These two agencies are together, they merge together. Can you please talk to us about that, about this union or this marriage, or whatever you guys are going to call it?
You know, actually, I would love to default to Susan because she actually came up with a really good way to describe it in one of her Foundations for Recovery's recent newsletters.
It has to do with heaven, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we see it as a match made in heaven. Rogue Retreat has housing services, and Foundations for Recovery has the recovery services. And so together, a lot of the same people that we work with need housing, they need recovery. So now under Rogue Retreat, we can offer both.
That's really convenient and really good. And let me tell you this, you guys did this promo for Dining with Jesus, and guess what? There are already people calling us, contacting us, asking for your services. And before I forget, Matt, this is a referral. And Susan, people will be calling you some moms,
awesome.
and so this is really good. I mean, I'm sure God is very happy because we are through Dining with Jesus, we're helping our community. We are trying to bring our community together and support our community, and we need these agencies, right? I mean, so how long are you guys doing or being in business? Foundation for Recovery.
So Foundations for Recovery started in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
A man named Steve Hale, who has since passed on to be with the Lord,
Okay.
saw this problem with people kind of going through the revolving door of recovery to relapse to recovery, and he thought something needs to be done about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started doing some research, and he found Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery, which is a peer mentoring organization. So he went and got trained and brought this idea back to the Rogue Valley of peer mentoring, and as we call it, recovery coaching.
Oh,
so we
okay.
help people one-on-one. Since then, the state of Oregon has kind of stepped in to administrate that role. So we have a training for our recovery coaches called Fundamentals of Peer Support. And through this training, they can get certified by the state. to be peer support specialists.
And it's a great need. I mean, it's a huge need in our community for people that are struggling with addictions. Even if you are not going through addictions, I think we need a mentor, you know, in our lives. But can you imagine if you are struggling with addictions? You really need a mentor, and it's so. I feel so happy to hear that you guys are helping all these people, because there are several people contacting us. We have this prayer team, and we get lots of prayer requests regarding addictions. And they will go with you. No, thank you for being here. And there are people, you know, that because they're struggling with addictions, they lose their homes, they lose, you know, even their marriages. So thank you for providing this service. And I have my next question is, who qualifies for your program for Foundations for Recovery?
That is a good question. So anyone with an addiction issue, not self-identified, if you feel that you have problems that are interfering with your life that are caused by an addiction to either drugs or alcohol, even sometimes other substances or behavior issues, codependency. I'm working with someone right now that their main thing is, how do I deal with a family member who's in their addiction, and she's just spent. She's emotionally drained from it and just needs someone to talk to, so we can do all of that.
Oh, wonderful. What is your approach to recovery?
So our approach to recovery is we try to look at the whole person. Okay, so it's not just about the addiction, which we do address, and we have specific ways that we look at that. But we also want to look at things like housing, or things like, have they seen a doctor lately? A lot of times people who are in their addiction, they haven't paid attention to a lot of these other areas.
That's true.
And so dental care, medical care, we look at, do they need job training? Do they need a job? You know, do they have the education that they need? Just any of those elements of life that, you know, you need to have to be able to move forward. We really try to work with people on those.
And the coaches, they identify all these needs from the people that are involved in addictions, and then what is the process, or how does it work? I mean, you guys have groups, or it's just one-on-one?
It's mainly one-on-one, and then we have our recovery wellness plan. This little booklet helps us to identify which areas in a person's life they need to address.
Okay.
So we try to look at things that are in crisis first. And if they say they are in the street and they can't stop using because they're in the street, we try to connect them with housing services. Sometimes through the VA, if they're a veteran. Sometimes it can be through On Track or the ARC, where they are getting treatment and housing at the same time, or maybe other rehab facilities. Could be Rogue Retreat. We'll probably talk about the Kelly Shelter a little bit later. That's a really good place for people to kind of make that jump from being homeless to having a place.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Matt, I'm going to have a question for you. I'm going to have questions for you too.
Okay.
Don't think I forgot about you.
He's waiting patiently.
I know, he's so patient. Matt, what is Rogue Retreat mission statement? What is it you guys do? How you guys are helping that community?
Yeah, so the mission of Rogue Retreat is to create opportunities for the homeless to have hope. So that is in just a very simple mission statement that allows us to go in multiple directions, because ultimately our goal is to provide opportunities for the homeless to be able to change their lives. That could be shelter, that could be housing, that could be helping with employment, it could be helping people get clean and sober through our partnership with Foundations for Recovery.
That's the perfect, marriage.
Yeah, there is a number of ways that we can provide opportunities for the homeless to have hope, but the very simple mission statement, we exist to provide hope for people.
Wonderful. And earlier, Susan was mentioning about this program that you guys have, a housing program. Can you talk about a little bit about you have different types of housing programs,
Yes,
right?
we do.
Can you talk a little bit about it?
I can.
No, you cannot say much in a few minutes, but
It's okay.
you can summarize.
Yes. So Rogue Retreat offers 5 different levels of shelter and housing. We offer the very basic is the Kelly shelter, which is our emergency shelter that we are currently working to expand into a year-round shelter program. But that is for us to be able to take people directly off the streets, to be able to get them shelter, get them with a case manager, and begin developing a pathway for them to become self-sufficient and move into more permanent forms of housing. The next step up from that is Hope Village, which is a tiny house transitional community that we provide for the homeless. And that in itself is also another form of shelter that we provide that is transitional in nature. On average, people are there about 4 months before they move to someplace more permanent. And then we have shared recovery housing. We have Heather's Haven, we have Harold's Haven, and then we also have what is now called Amy's Haven, which is actually our medically assisted treatment housing program, which is one of the first ones in
That's
the Valley.
really good information,
Yes,
guys.
absolutely.
You should get a pen and pencil. Can you please give us your phone number?
Yes.
So for the people that
So
are
our
watching.
phone number is 541-499-0880.
Suzanne?
And ours is 541-245-HOPE. It's 541-245-4673.
Wonderful. We really love to hear about these agencies. That's why we are doing this segment, Love People, because we want to provide information to all of you about these great agencies that are serving our community. And this is a gift, that we bring, through, actually the Lord is doing this because He's our executive producer here. He's the one that's helping us to put all this together. And we feel very grateful. And there is anything else that you guys want to talk about that you consider is important about, your agencies and so?
Talk about case management.
Yes. So really the big piece with Rogue Retreat that is kind of really the secret sauce, let's say, that makes our programs work is really the case management. We provide shelter and housing, but we've never been interested in just warehousing people. We've always wanted to address the barriers that help lead them to becoming homeless. And so the case management is very much relationship based. There is weekly contact that our case managers have. We're working with participants on developing action plans, then also, to steal a term from Susan, acting as a resource broker in many cases to help connect them to the services that they need in the community, whether that be addiction treatment, mental health counseling, or any other kind of services. And so that's also where our relationship with Foundations for Recovery really is going to blossom, because one of the things that we want to do is use the recovery coaches that come from Foundations to Recovery to integrate into our case management structure to really be able to provide a true wraparound support system, supportive services for the clients that we serve.
That's wonderful. And who can qualify for your services?
Well, so our services are open to many individuals that would qualify as literally homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. Some of our programs do have income guidelines where they have to basically fall below 50% or 30% of the area median income. So, but that's all program dependent. We have multiple programs that people would fit into. But for the most part, we are open to anybody that is struggling and experiencing homelessness.
Okay. All right. If you are watching us and if you are about to lose your home, and so please call Rogue Retreat. And if you are struggling with addictions, call Foundations for Recovery. And actually these two agencies are working together, which is really, really good. I think you guys can, you can accomplish a lot of things, And thank you very much for being here with us. I don't want to forget any other important question. It seems like we already answered. Or you provide information, the most important information about your agencies. Thank you very, very much. And we want to remind you that don't forget to tell your family, relatives, any kind of relative or friends, that you love them. And love is very important. And we are here, serving you. This is an act of love. We love you. We care about you. And don't forget to tell I love you to the person that is sitting next by. I love you, Susan.
I love you.
I love you, Matt.
I love you. I love you.
That's awesome. The Lord loves when we love each other because He is love. And remember, Jesus is at the door. If he's at the door, what are you going to do? Are you going to open the door to Jesus? Are you going to invite him to dine with you? If you say yes, you are taking steps to salvation. And si usted va a abrir la puerta a Jesús, porque Jesús está a la puerta, y si lo va a invitar a cenar con usted, es una buena decisión. Usted está en camino a la salvación. Recuerde que Jesús es el único camino que nos lleva a la salvación. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Thank you for being here with us at Dining with Jesus TV. And we love you. See you next time.
Jesus Christ, you're my everything. You are so beautiful, beautiful. Jesus Christ, you're my everything. Yes. Almighty God, an everlasting King, you're more than anything I have ever seen. You are so beautiful, so beautiful. Jesus Christ, you are my everything. You are so beautiful, so beautiful.